9 habits that reveal hidden sadness. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Scrolling aimlessly for hours. You've been there. It's 11 p.m., you have to be up in 7 hours, but your thumb has a mind of its own. It's swiping, tapping, and scrolling through an infinite feed of strangers' vacation photos, political rants you don't care about, and videos of cats falling off furniture. You're not learning anything. You're not connecting with anyone. You're not even really entertained. So, what are you doing? You're escaping. This isn't just about procrastination. It's a form of digital dissociation. Your brain, in an effort to shield you from a feeling it doesn't want to process, a quiet, nagging sadness, has found the perfect anesthetic. Think of it as a low-effort, high-reward activity for a mind that's running on empty. Each new post, each flicker of color and movement delivers a tiny, unsatisfying hit of dopamine, just enough to keep you engaged, but not enough to make you feel genuinely happy. It's the mental equivalent of eating junk food when your body is craving a real meal. You're filling a void, but you're filling it with nothing. The real goal isn't to find something interesting, it's to avoid finding yourself in the silence. The moment you put the phone down, the quiet rushes back in, and with it, the very feeling you were trying to outrun. It's a temporary ceasefire in a war you didn't even realize you were fighting. Number 2, sleeping too much or barely sleeping at all. Sleep is supposed to be your body's nightly reset button, the time when your brain tidies up and your body repairs itself. But when sadness quietly takes up residence in your mind, it can completely hijack your relationship with your pillow. It pulls you toward one of 2 extremes, the black hole of hypersomnia or the barren desert of insomnia. Some people find themselves sleeping for 10, 12, even 14 hours a day, using unconsciousness as a bunker to hide from the waking world. It's not rest. It's a retreat. Getting out of bed means facing the day, your thoughts, and that heavy, undefined weight in your chest. So, you hit snooze on life itself. On the flip side, you have the night watchers, the ones who lie in bed staring at the ceiling, their minds buzzing like a faulty transformer. For them, sleep is impossible because their brain refuses to clock out. It's replaying conversations, dissecting micro-expressions, and running what-if scenarios on a relentless loop. This is your survival instinct gone haywire. Your brain is churning out cortisol, the stress hormone, keeping you in a state of low-grade alert. It's convinced there's a threat to analyze, but the threat is internal. It's the sadness itself. Whether you're sleeping to escape your mind or can't sleep because of it, the common thread is this. Your bed has stopped being a place of rest and has become a battleground. Number 3, canceling plans last minute. You were genuinely excited about dinner plans all week. You picked out your outfit, you looked forward to the conversation, and you even daydreamed about that specific dessert you were going to order. Then, an hour before you're supposed to leave, a wave of something washes over you. It's not laziness. It's a sudden, crushing gravitational pull toward your couch. This is the sudden depletion of your performance energy. For someone wrestling with hidden sadness, socializing isn't just about showing up. It's about putting on a mask. You have to perform okayness, smiling, laughing at the right moments, asking engaging questions, and pretending the heavyweight champion of gloom isn't doing a title match in your head. This performance consumes an enormous amount of emotional and psychological energy, and sometimes your reserves just run out without warning. The text you send, "so sorry," "something came up," or "feeling under the weather," is a translation. What it really means is, "I've just run out of the fuel required to pretend I'm not falling apart, and I love you too much to give you a hollowed-out version of myself." It's not a rejection of your friends. It's an act of self-preservation. They are protecting both you from their authentic heavy state and themselves from the exhaustion of faking it. Number 4, always saying, "I'm just tired." "I'm tired" is perhaps the most versatile and underrated alibi in the human emotional playbook. It's the Swiss Army knife of excuses. Why were you quiet during the meeting? Tired. Why did you cancel plans? Tired. Why are you staring into space? Just tired. This phrase has become a universally accepted code for, "I am not okay, but I don't have the words or the energy to explain why." It's a brilliant defense mechanism because it's both true and not true at the same time. You are tired, sadness is profoundly exhausting. It's like running a background app that drains 80% of your phone's battery, but the fatigue is a symptom, not the cause. Using tired is a way to communicate distress without inviting a full-blown intervention. If you say, "I'm sad," you open the door to questions, advice, and well-meaning but often unhelpful attempts to fix you. But "I'm tired," people get that. They nod, they sympathize, and they leave you alone. It's a social password that grants you passage through the difficult moments without having to display your vulnerability. It builds a soft, blurry wall around your pain, one that's just high enough to keep people out, but not so high that it causes alarm. It's the perfect camouflage for an aching heart. Number 5. Keeping everything clean and organized. When your internal world feels like a chaotic, swirling vortex of confusing emotions and racing thoughts, you find yourself desperately seeking control somewhere, anywhere. For many, that somewhere is the physical environment. Suddenly, organizing the spice rack alphabetically becomes the most important mission of the day. Wiping down counters, vacuuming imaginary dust, and folding laundry with military precision aren't just chores. They are acts of rebellion against internal chaos. Each speck of dust you eliminate, each item you put back in its rightful place, gives you a tiny, tangible victory. It's a way of saying, I may not be able to control my feelings, but I can damn well control this junk drawer. This isn't about being a neat freak. It's a psychological coping mechanism known as creating an external locus of control. The methodical, repetitive nature of cleaning can be almost meditative. It focuses the mind on a simple, linear task with a clear beginning, middle, and a very satisfying end. For a few moments, the overwhelming complexity of your emotional state is replaced by the simple problem of a smudge on a window. You see the problem, you apply the solution, and you see an immediate result. In a life that feels messy and nonsensical, a clean countertop is a small, shining island of order and sense. Number 6. Going suddenly quiet in a group. You're out with friends, laughing at a story someone is telling. The energy is great, the conversation is flowing, and you're a part of it. Then, without any warning, a switch flips. The sound around you seems to fade into a dull hum, and your own thoughts become deafeningly loud. Your smile fades, your gaze drops to the drink in your hands, and you've completely left the conversation, even though you're still sitting there. Your friends might not even notice at first, but you've vanished. This isn't you being rude or bored. It's an involuntary mental retreat. The effort of active listening, of formulating responses, of maintaining an engaged facial expression, it all became too much at once. Think of your emotional energy as a phone battery. When you're dealing with underlying sadness, you start the day at 40% instead of 100%. Socializing, especially in a group, is a high-drain activity. That sudden silence is the moment your brain automatically switches to low-power mode to conserve what little energy it has left. Your mind isn't here anymore. It has drifted back to the heavy thing, the unresolved feeling, the quiet ache it was trying to ignore. It's a fleeting moment of honesty where the mask of engagement slips off, revealing the exhaustion underneath. Number 7. Constantly listening to sad or nostalgic music. Why on earth would someone who feels sad deliberately marinate their brain in melancholic melodies? It seems like adding fuel to a fire. But the psychology here is fascinating and deeply human. You don't listen to sad music to become sadder. You listen because the music understands. When you can't find the words to describe the hollow ache in your chest, a song with a somber chord progression and heartfelt lyrics can do it for you. It validates your feelings, wrapping you in a blanket of sound that says, "You're not crazy. You're not alone. Someone else has felt this too." It transforms a vague, formless sadness into something tangible and, paradoxically, more manageable. Sadness feels more real and profound than the terrifying emptiness of numbness. The music provides a safe container for your emotions, allowing you to feel them without being completely overwhelmed. Nostalgic music works in a similar way, but instead of validating the present, it offers a temporary escape to the past, a time when things felt simpler, happier, or at least different. It's a form of emotional time travel, a brief visit to a place where the current weight didn't exist. It's not about wallowing, it's about seeking resonance and refuge. Number 8. Overthinking. Small interactions. You hang up the phone after a perfectly normal 2-minute chat with a friend. And then it begins. The replay, the analysis, the dissection. Was my tone weird when I said goodbye? Did they hesitate when I asked how they were? I made that stupid joke. They probably think I'm an idiot. You then spend the next hour spiraling, convinced you've somehow damaged the relationship. This isn't just being socially anxious. It's a symptom of a deeper fear of disconnection, amplified by sadness. When your own self-worth feels shaky, you rely more heavily on external validation to feel secure. This hypervigilance turns every casual interaction into a high-stakes performance review. You're not just listening to what people say, you're desperately scanning for subtext, for micro-expressions, for any hint of disapproval or distance. The underlying logic is driven by fear. If I'm not perfect, if I make one wrong move, they'll realize I'm not worth keeping around. This isn't an overactive imagination. It's the sound of your inner foundation crumbling, making you desperately cling to every external beam and support you can find, terrified they might give way at any moment. Number 9. Avoiding mirrors or photos. Have you ever caught a glimpse of yourself in a shop window and, for a split second, not recognized the person staring back? For someone navigating hidden sadness, that feeling can become persistent. You start actively avoiding mirrors. You quickly wash your hands and get out of the bathroom without making eye contact with your own reflection. When someone pulls out a camera for a group photo, you either duck out of the frame or force a smile that feels like it's made of cracking porcelain. This isn't about vanity or being camera shy. It's a profound sense of disconnect from your own physical form. It's a phenomenon known as depersonalization. The person in the mirror looks like you, but they don't feel like you. That reflection represents a version of yourself that is supposed to be living, engaging, and feeling, things you don't feel connected to. Looking at yourself can create a jarring and painful dissonance between your chaotic inner world and your placid physical exterior. The face staring back at you seems like a stranger, an actor playing your part. In photos, this is even more acute. A picture captures a moment of forced joy, a snapshot of the mask you're wearing, which feels like a lie. So you avoid the evidence. You avoid the reflection because you don't want to face the stranger who has taken up residence in your own skin. If any of this sounds familiar, either in yourself or in someone you care about, remember that these habits are not character flaws. They are signals. They are the language of a mind that is trying its best to cope when the usual methods have failed. Recognizing them is the first step toward understanding, and understanding is the first step toward healing. Be kind to yourself and be gentle with others. You never truly know the weight someone is carrying behind their smile. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.